You got that list?
I got it.
I'm gonna call the special call meeting to order for December 15th, 2025. Tammy, call the roll.
Randolph,
Here.
James,
Here.
Jenkins, Quillen, here, Satterfield,
Here.
Whitfield,
Here.
Cullen,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Shaver,
Here.
Waller.
Okay. General public comments. Marie McHale.
Oh, this is on great. Thank you all for giving us the time to talk today. I'm here from East Tennessee Realtors Association. We cover 12 counties, including Loudon. We have about 300 members who live here and work here, and more that work here that don't live in the county as well. So I just want to tell you a quick story about what's happening to local families in Loudon County. And I was hearing some conversation about housing just as I came in here. Loudon County, as we all know, is a desirable place to live. It's beautiful. The people are friendly, they're welcoming. We have all kinds of natural resources and growing economic opportunities, and that's bringing some people here. You know, a lot of the conversation that we hear around this moratorium and previous versions of that is that we're trying to stop people from moving here, and it's not possible. If you live in Loudon County and you already own your home, you might be in decent financial shape. If you owned a home in 2020 that was worth about $250,000, it's about worth twice that now, maybe even up to $500,000, right? So you're probably doing okay. If you don't own your home, it's really hard. More than half of the renters in your county are cost burdened, meaning that they're struggling to pay their rent. They're spending more than a third of their gross income on rent. In some of your census tracts, especially the northern part of the county, that percentage is as high as 85% of people struggling to pay their rent. Your median age resident is 48.5 years old, and that number is getting higher. And frankly, we're gaining retirees here and losing young people. And the reason why that's happening is the cost of housing. In Loudon County, we're displacing residents due to housing costs and replacing them with people who are moving here that have higher incomes. A moratorium on building does not stop people from moving here. All it does is takes the few spots that are left, pushes out the families that are here who can't afford it, and brings in people with more money and resources. Children of families who've lived here for generations are having trouble affording homes. Parents are trying to rezone properties so that they can give an acre of it to their family members in the hopes that they'll be able to stay here. I know you all hear that a lot. In discussions, I think a lot of us, we're talking about how do we protect our residents from the development that we see in other counties, those infrastructure issues we see in other counties. But out of our 9-county statistical area, Loudon County is actually the most expensive. More expensive than Knox County, more expensive than Blount County. In fact, the cost of land here is about $197,000 for a quarter acre. It also has the highest median home price. As of November, the median home price here was $570,000. That's compared, in case y'all are wondering, to about $385 in Knox County and $374 in Blount County, so we're significantly more expensive here. The cost of homes in Loudon County is directly related to restrictive land use policies like this moratorium, like removing cluster developments. What we're saying is that for the amount of land that we have left, we're going to put a few homes on there and that's it, which makes each one of those homes more expensive. Supply determines price, so if we have less homes available, people are going to pay more for them, and our local folks are going to be the ones who win. We also can't blame this problem on developers, builders, or realtors. I know that happens a lot, and there may be a few builders that y'all don't like very much, but we can't make decisions based on one person. In Knox County, for the record, those same developers are building single-family homes with 2 bedrooms for less than $300,000 because the lot size that's allowed is much smaller. The harder we make it to build small, attainable homes that the average family can afford, the more we're attracting high-wealth buyers that then raise the cost of the surrounding development. If we want homes for everyday people, they have to be smaller. In conclusion, I think we're all thinking of this moratorium as a pause, like it'll give us the chance to get our feet underneath us and plan, but it's too late for that. Every pause is kicking more families out of this county. We're kicking out more young people. We're kicking out the people that work everyday jobs that can't afford to live here. So we can't afford any more pauses. We have to plan a little bit better now. We have to think about the future now. And I think if we take a different approach, we can actually make space for everybody, the people that are here and the people that are moving here. So In conclusion, I would ask you all to postpone making this decision until we better understand the impact that that's gonna have economically, and for your family's future well-being. And I'm at your disposal. I'm happy to give you all a business card if you guys want any more data, if you wanna understand what the numbers look like. Love to talk to you more about that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Rich Anklin.
Rich Anklin from Tellico Village. My concern with this moratorium has nothing to do with the number of houses on the lot. It has to do with the 18 to 20 foot wide requirement. If you drive around this county on some of the back roads, Davis Ferry, the one going from the post office over to the Weigels by the schools, there are no shoulders because the ditches are right there. So if you want to increase the width of a road by 2 feet, and then you should put the shoulders back on, 18 inches, that's another 3 feet. You're talking about 5 feet width. You physically don't have it on a lot of these roads. And that's gonna shut down the ability for people to build houses on some of these back roads that we all drive every day. I'm not sure what you're trying to get. If you read the court case like I did, even Billy Pickle said there's no difference between 18 and 20 feet. What's the big deal? And let's take an example. Let's say Cook Brothers is building on a section of highway. It's 18 feet wide, and he agrees to widen that road 20 feet. How far on his frontage, left or right of it, are you gonna make him pay? Or is the county gonna do it? And how much money is that gonna cost to upgrade these back roads? I don't see it. It's awful expensive to do this, and I think you're making a big mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Pat Hunter.
My name is Pat Hunter. I reside in the 5th District, and I've lived in Loudon County roughly 43 years. When I moved out where I thought was the country, because there were farms all around me, I thought I was going to a place that I really loved. I was moving away from all the gridlock, from all the traffic, and little did I learn, or I learned pretty quickly, that farms become developments. And I have voiced concerns about narrow roads and more traffic and gridlock, people walking their dogs, people just exercising, bicyclists. We have to compete with the traffic, and that concerns me. But what concerns me also is that if we're going to do something, in my opinion, we need to do it right. I was reading the resolution from the Planning Commission, and it said, whereas the commission has studied the county's population growth, conditions of roads on the county road list, increased accidents numbers on said roads, and other safety issues on said roads. My question is, when have these issues been studied? I think they have to be vetted very carefully, and we need to examine all these issues. The other concern that I have, like Mr. Anklin voiced, is how is this process going to work? If you have a narrow road and the developer is going to put a bunch of houses, which personally I would not like, how is the road going to be widened if it's 18 feet or 13 feet? We have yet to hear from Mr. Pickle. And Mr. Pickle is the road superintendent, and his concerns, I think an inventory from him telling us exactly how many roads we have that are under 20 feet or 18 feet, I think that's important to find out, because at the end of the day, those roads are county roads, and it is up to the taxpayers to widen those roads. And what concerns me is there's no easements, no right-of-ways. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna condemn property? Those are issues that I think need to be vetted before any action is taken. I think we need road standards, but I also think that we are putting we're not doing our due diligence at this point before we impose a moratorium. We need to vet this properly, and we need Mr. Pickles' input. According to the transcript, he made no difference between an 18 or 20 foot. I think that we need an answer. Can emergency vehicles make it an 18 foot or 20 foot? Can a bus? I think all of these issues need to be addressed beforehand, before you take action. And I get to hear it at the planning level or here. So those are my concerns. We need to do something, but please do it right. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. That concludes the public comments for the special call meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
He
let
may-
me address,
He
what?
may signed up,
I
did
signed
you,
up on the wrong one.
he signed up on the wrong
Oh.
one. Can he speak?
yeah,
So did I. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Mark. So we have two more.
Okay, so Mike has annexation, and it looks like Mark White,
Yes.
I think Mike,
Development.
come on up.
Mike wanted to speak on the special vote.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll get him up here in a minute.
Hey, I actually did not know about this meeting till this afternoon. I had several phone calls from people talking about it. My name is Mark White. I'm a local developer, builder.
Yep.
I've lived in this county for 63 years. Live in this county now. My children live in this county, a couple of them do. I've spoke on development before and what's going on with all the different, what it does to the cost of houses. I want to give you an example. I was just listening to everybody talk about this. Stone Harbor subdivision, one of my developments. Everybody says they love Stone Harbor. I can't duplicate Stone Harbor anymore. You have removed the PUD overlay, and I cannot do a Stone Harbor or a Stone Crossing development in Loudon County. So we love them or we don't, but we can't do those anymore. They're too tight, according to the new restrictions. Also, the homes in that subdivision, I think I started there in '06, I believe, were the first ones I did. I waited till codes came into the county so I could build under the codes. And those homes were selling for, I think, $298,000 is where I was when we started back then. The last three that I've closed have been with the lot around $1.1 million. Same house, same subdivision, 8 years later, 10 years later. So, and people say that it's not the price of the land, it's all the price of the land. I mean, the houses have gone up, obviously, the labor's gone up. The cost of houses is not gonna go down. You're not gonna go to the laborers, you're not gonna go to the people that are employed and say, oh, by the way, will you take a 60% pay cut so we can make our houses cost less? Materials, yeah, they've gone up some, but mainly it's been labor in the whole process of everything. So when we do just say, I personally, and I'll offend people when I do it, I think saying you're putting a moratorium is a cop-out, and I think it's a chicken way to do it. And I have chickens, so I know this. So, but I'm telling you, it's not, when you just say, oh, we don't know how to do it, so let's just stop it. Let's just stop it. That does not look good from the outside looking in, guys. And I live here. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not developing anymore right now. I don't have anything to do with it. I've hired a couple of young guys that work for me, and we're building out what I have. But as for the other developers coming in, just to say that you can't, it's just a cop-out. So I think you guys need to get it together, figure out your zoning, and then come back. And if you want to put a moratorium on something, do it. But until that time, I think you need to get your act together, figure out what you're gonna do. And this road thing, you aren't. The county commission will never fund those roads. That's not gonna happen. So if you use the road thing, then the development is shut down forever. Mr. Mayor, you know that. What roads are gonna be widened in this county? We're gonna take and just widen Bill's Chapel all the way out to the end? It'll never happen. It's not going to occur. We all know it. So use or say what it is. Change the zoning to where you want it, but change the zoning where it can be done. If you wanna do it on big acre tracts, do it on big acre tracts, but make it fair to be able to do that. So, anyway, that's all I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mike, you wanted to talk, and on the wrong sheet, come on up.
Well, you heard the cons. This is my pro for that moratorium. My name is Mike Holcomb, James Ridge Estates. Mr. Bradshaw, Mayor Bradshaw, and members of this county commission. I want to thank you for your support while opposing the city of Loudon annexation of Dry Valley Road. I don't think you guys are given enough credit and thanks for the work you do with affordable taxes and controlling the county's growth. We've been going through, for the last 3 years, an issue up on Dry Valley Road. We've got the city of Loudon trying to annex the piece of land, 176 acres, on a windy, narrow road, hilly road, okay, that cannot sustain the traffic that the particular homeowner, actually property owner, wanted to build there. He wanted manufacturing. Okay, so we're going through that for the last 3 years, fighting it. And finally, as you're probably aware, the city's planning board rejected the plan of services that was required to annex into the city of Loudon, Mr. Barnett's 176 acres located on the county, on Dry Valley Road. Additionally, on 11/24/25, Mr. Barnett advised Mayor Harris he was rescinding his application for city annexation and rezoning. And basically, it was because of the amount of people that showed up at that city council meeting and opposed it. Okay? James Ridge Estates, HOA, and surrounding property owners who spoke at that meeting and bordering the property in question are fully aware the fight is not over and that another effort can be made for annexation. Only when the state legislature will pass legislation to stop city annexation without county approval, prohibit spot zoning, and consider surrounding inhabitants with residents to be safe from the adverse effects of their property values. While many officials voice concern for affordable housing and its use to propose high-density housing, I find their argument unconvincing. And I'll give you a case in point, okay? If you've observed home prices and land prices in Loudon County, 2 lots next to me, one sold for nearly $100,000, the other sold for about $90,000. Tennessee National got a billboard right up on 72, $99.9 for 1 acre lot, okay? New homes on Summer Glen in my community, 4 years ago, sold between $186,000 and $225,000, and have recently resold in the area of $450,000 to $500,000. New apartments in Lenore City average between $1,400 and $1,600 per month for a studio. It would be wise to consider the adverse impact on infrastructure, pollution, crime, and schools, because the cost outweighs the tax revenue. And it appears that affordability equates to subsidized housing, in my opinion, which adversely impacts the taxpayers of Loudon County and of Tennessee. Some of you may be aware of the HB 1890 and Senate Bill 207 that were recently enacted into state law and signed by Governor Lee. It is referred to as the Farmland Preservation Act, and its main concern was this, that Tennessee is ranked 3rd in the nation for lost land to non-agricultural development. It seems ironic that cities feel the need to create urban sprawl and desecrate rural communities when the state legislature and governor want to avoid non-agricultural development. Again, I thank you for allowing me to address this commission, and I really do thank each and every one of you for this moratorium, because it really is needed to stop people who want to really abuse the process of developing their property. All right? I've got no problem with somebody with 176 acres trying to put 2 houses on 5 acres. All right? That fits well into the community, but when you start talking about putting warehousing, okay, and manufacturing on a county road where you don't have any real access, and I yield my time. It's over anyway. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, now we'll go back to the special call meeting.
Mr.
Jim
Chairman,
Jacob.
Mr.
What?
Chairman, I'm gonna address a couple things before going further. The young lady that spoke first, I'm sorry I didn't get your name. This is not a moratorium on development. I'm not asking a question, I'm not looking for a rebuttal. This is a moratorium on connecting development of 10 lots or more on a road of less than 20 feet. That's all this is. People can still build. People still build houses all day long. This is not a moratorium on building. So I just want to get that kind of cleared up, that statement. Ms. Hunter was at the planning commission meeting the other night, gave this pretty much the same speech, and I thought planning commissioner Waller did great. We don't know all these answers. We don't know what we're gonna do yet. That's why we're putting the moratorium in place. In 6 months, we may get figured out we can't do any of this. Bob Bowman may say you can't do it. In a year, we have a 6 month with potential to add another 6 months to it. So we don't know, but we're gonna stop right here and collectively hold our breath till we find out what we can do. Because after we did it the first time, it was the attorneys who said, it's not that simple. Can we allow them to, a developer to widen the road? We don't know. All the questions about easements and all that, I can tell you this, Loudon County won't be paying to widen any roads for developers. That I'll guarantee you. So if the developer, if we work it out where the developer can, that will be on them. The county would do the work, it'd meet county standards, but the developer will pay for it if they want it here bad enough. That's just where we're at. You came, Mark, you came to meetings we had 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You heard what the population said. We don't want it. We don't want this high development like we're seeing in West Knoxville, Blount County, and Lower City. Those of us that attended this meeting, we all heard it. And it was very much on the ballot in the last election. The citizens said, we don't want high development. So we as this body, the last 4 years, incredibly have done things I would have never thought possible to get our zoning policies under control and have a better handle on it than what we're seeing everywhere else. It may not be great for the Builders Association and developers, not worried about them. I'm worried about the citizens of Loudon County that said, we don't want this in our neighborhood. So that's where I stand on all this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we approve the 6 month to 12-month moratorium written by Bob Bowman. The resolution's in the packet.
A motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve the moratorium,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Morrison. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I've got a thing or two I wanna say.
Go ahead.
I guess I've got a problem with this resolution, in the wording of it, saying we've, studied there's a study with the county's population growth. I don't know where that is, the commission has studied. Conditions of the roads, Billy Pickles said under oath, the roads haven't been looked at since 2002. He also said there's, the safety issue, there's not one between 18-foot wide road and a 20-foot road. That's all been said, and I guess, we've had one moratorium, and none of this was resolved when we did the first moratorium, because planning commission, the planning planning office was left out, the road superintendent was left out, and nothing happened in all that except a lawsuit. So I guess with this one, what's gonna be different when we put another moratorium in place, because we couldn't resolve it the first time? And is this gonna change all the zoning? Is it gonna change the land use in Loudon County if we do, put this into place and change the roads to 20 foot? I mean, those are things that nobody can answer. So I don't know, to me, this resolution has some things in it that aren't exactly the truth, I believe. I don't know it to be the truth, and nobody can explain it's the truth. So to me, you put this in there and you've got this resolution, is that a lawsuit waiting to happen? But I just don't know what the plan is going forward. We put a moratorium in place, then what? Is everybody on board this next time that wasn't on board the first time? I've just got some big concerns with it. That's all I've got to say.
Any other comments?
Well, in my district, I have several of those roads. The one I travel very often, in fact, coming down here, is narrow, even though Billy repaved part of it this week, which we appreciate. I've had to hit the ditch more than once traveling that road. And to me, it is safe. I could imagine developing houses on that road and it stay like it is. There's no way safety-wise, I mean, it is a danger to drive part of it, the way they drive, just too narrow, and it's too narrow to accommodate housing. Like I said, I'm not anti-housing, I'm just pro-life. And we have a lot of those roads, like I said, our roads, initially were built for pickup trucks and tractors out in the county. And that hasn't changed. A lot of those roads, I think at one of these meetings we've had at Van refers, that one lady said, I've lived here all my life, and said the roads are still the same width they were when I was growing up. So it's not, like Van said, it's not anti-development, it's kind of life preservation until, over at Hackley's Chapel, there's roads in there that people have driveways that are wider than the roads, but that didn't stop them from coming in and putting in prefab homes all in there, and increase the road population. Sure, they can put them in there, but, there's gotta be a safe way for people to travel those roads. That's the only thing I mean, that's my opinion on it, for what it's worth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments?
I'd like to say that you don't see anybody from mine and Chase's district in here fighting against this moratorium. A moratorium is a pause, just like somebody said. If we didn't take this pause and we continue to do what we're gonna do, then there's gonna be a lot more people in here saying we've done something that made our roads unsafe and our citizens unsafe. So if we don't do something, like Ms. Hunter said, we need to do studies, we need to do everything. I'm not gonna disagree with her, but if we don't pause it,
But we did.
but we didn't do anything because we were in a lawsuit. We were told we couldn't do this. We were told, now we're finding out what we can do. So my thing is, let's take a pause, see what we can do. If they tell us we can't do anything, we don't do anything.
I agree with Commissioner Jeans. It is a pause and it's an opportunity. In my district, a lot of farmland, a lot of small roads, a lot of curvy roads, hilly roads. My constituents are saying, look, for 8 years, housing has gone crazy. It's unbelievable. Now it's time for you all to look at the infrastructure. We have created, and we have allowed, not necessarily all of us, but we have created a situation where housing is booming so bad that we just have not fixed our roads. And I think we have to take this pause to address those situations, get the opinion of Billy Pickle, figure out how we're going to address these issues before we continue to move forward.
So right now on a 20-foot road, you can have 100 units somewhere. I mean, this is saying that,
Right now, on a 10-foot road, you could have 100 units
Yeah.
somewhere. On a 5-foot road, you could have 100 units somewhere.
but if you have a 20-foot road, you can. So this is 10, this is,
Depends on how the property is
How the
owned.
property-
yeah, absolutely.
Well, like I said, part of the road that I travel, the county repaved it, and for the county, it costs the county $135,000 for a mile of asphalt. And, there might have been maybe 2 miles, maybe less of what he paved, so, $270,000 just to pave. That's not to condemn property, buy right of way, do the grading and moving to build a road. That's just to pave what you've got. And you're right, I don't know, like I said, that would be possible now. Like I said, I think we're, debating now is it 20 feet or 18 feet?
20 feet measure white line, inside white line to inside white line.
If you come and drive Meadow Road with me a few days, you'd say, could we make that 25 feet?
Well, that's on the county though, right?
That's on the county. In the county. Yeah. But on that road, 80-acre sod farm has been subdivided into lots right at the end of it. There's more going on. I mean, it's just, anyhow. I'm done.
Any further comments? Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Morrison. No further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
Okay, it passes 7-1. Moratorium's adopted.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we adjourn the special call if nobody has anything left.
Somebody give me a second.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment of the special call meeting, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, now I'll open the county workshop. Commission workshop for December 15th, 2025. General public comments are up first. Rich Anklin, you're on.
Seeing as this is a workshop, right?
Yes,
I can add any comment I want on any topic I want.
yes.
it's open.
All right, Greenback football field. You gotta be kidding me. We tore down that school. We went back and forth on what it cost. There was 2 wings off the side of it on a new school. We took one of those off to erase the lines and redo the road, was $500,000. When they took down the school, they didn't finish the job. All the crap, the foundations, the pipes, the sewer lines, the electric lines are still on the ground. Now it's gonna cost $3 million to take that stuff up because we didn't do our job back then. I brought this to the attention of the school board and this county commission back to 2013-14. We tore down a perfectly good gymnasium there too, because there was a corner of the roof that leaked. We got paid money to fix it, but we didn't do it. So we tore that down too. And I think I can quote Van saying the only thing he wants out of that gym is the plaque for Roosevelt. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? They saved supposedly $6 million from the original cost of 30 to 24. We also, when we got through with building the middle schools, Philadelphia cafeterias, blending those 2 schools out on 72, we had a couple $1 million left over. Guess what we did with it? 2 football change blockers. 1.9 million for the 2 of them. $1 million right here in Loudon and 900,000 down in Greenback. There's nothing wrong with the football field that's down there. We don't have a track around it. Oh, geez, we forgot to do that when we built it. But we've also built houses down there on the adjacent property, so we couldn't go the other direction. Now we wanna go back to the old school that was torn down with all the junk under the ground. There was a guy that got hurt out there. There was a lawsuit. You guys paid $50,000 to him for that. At least the school board did, because he tripped over the foundation that suddenly emerged from the ground after the rain came. They didn't do a very good job of covering it either. What are we gonna do? Are you all voting for a $7.5 million track down here? I can't believe you do that. How does it cost that much money to dig up that ground? How does it cost that much money to put a track around it? Doesn't make any sense. But you're spending other people's money, ours, and I don't like it. I think the rest of the county employees or residents aren't gonna like it either when they come down to it. I don't think, Coach, get me wrong, don't get me wrong. You need things at the school, but $7 million is an awful lot of things that isn't worth Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be glad to tell the children at Greenback that you don't think they're worth investing in. And the
I think
parents,
they have a football
and
field.
the
Coach.
parents, and the grandparents, and the aunts, and the uncles, and the graduates, that Mr. Anklin doesn't feel like that you're worth investing in. Thank you very much.
You already got 24 million. for
Hey,
rent.
that's fine, you wanna downsize your house and live in something smaller since you already have that much?
I don't have to.
I think it's a poor
I
statement
can
that you
afford
just
my
made.
house.
I think it's an insensitive assessment of what you just said, that our folks in Greenback are not worth what, our investment over there. Sure, things could have been done a little different, but you can tell that just struck a nerve with me. I've lived there over 50 years, and we've been on the receiving end of nothing for a long time. Finally got a school, and now what they're getting ready to do, our school will look like the other schools in Loudon County instead of a stepchild. And you're telling me our kids are not worth the investment. I wanna make sure that everybody in District 3 hears that Richard Anklin doesn't think you're worth the investment.
What was
and-
the original plan down there?
The original plan was to move the old field, tear down the bleachers, put up new lights, put in artificial turf,
Right.
and like I said, but with the addition of a track, which didn't think that would ever happen, but you know, now, with the new school being built in Loudon, we'll be like the rest of the schools. We'll all have a track. We'll all have similar facilities that our children deserve and have deserved for a very long time.
Why didn't they put the track in it originally?
Because it was gonna be at the old site. There's not enough room at the old site to put a track in. There's no room there. It had to be moved to the old school grounds, like I said, which wasn't my original request. It came along thanks to Pat, pointed it out that our kids are having to travel to Loudon High School to
Understand?
participate in track, but
So the
I
original-
cannot believe that you'd stand there and tell me that our people in Greenback and District 3 are not worth the investment.
No, I'm telling you, it's not worth $3 million to dig up that site.
Well, it had to be, the whole thing, like I said, it had to be redone. I'm trying to speak for the board, I don't know, I'm not in on that, but it virtually turned into a whole new project. The original project was what I just told you, was to move the old field up some and do that, but without a track and, to it. Like I said, I think we ought to name it the Pat Hunter track when it gets built, because without her, it would have never been, I never had a clue that it would ever been approved.
It's Russell.
But that didn't sidetrack me from the fact that you stood there and denigrated our kids, that we're not worth it.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said.
No, it isn't.
Well, you need
Go
to
back and quote.
get you a Roget's and then come up with the other words in.
Jesus.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just one quick point
Go
of
ahead.
clarification. We are not the school board. We won't be voting on anything. We've already approved the bonds for the building program. That's the Board of Education. They're the ones that's made the decisions of what they're gonna build and what they're not gonna build. We'll never hear another word about that on this side of the hall, so you need to take those concerns down to the Loudon County Board of Education. We don't make that decision. Thank you, Mr. Satterfield. I appreciate your position. I think he's pretty passionate about his community, his neighborhood, and his school.
Pat Hunter, you're up.
I love you, Richard, but I don't like the comment.
I've not seen him spout off since he coached me in middle school. We went way back just then. There's my old coach coming out.
I know Coach cares a lot about his community. My name is Pat Hunter, and yes, I spoke about I want to speak about 2 items. Regarding the track, I did bring that to the attention of the school board when I heard someone from Greenback speak about having to bring their children to Loudon. And what I didn't know in attending the school board meetings was that it was designed without a track. I could not imagine paying $3.4 million without a track. Who would do that? You know, our school board wasn't looking out for Greenback. And I think one thing that I'm gonna agree with you, Coach, the school board has, and maybe these are my words, the school board has a way of cutting corners. And they've always done that. And they did that back when we had the old school. Because originally, Mr. Anklin's right, they spent $500,000 in cutting out, changing the design, taking out the auxiliary gym for the younger kids to save money.
I think if you're gonna speak about the school board negatively, you should go to.
I am talking about something that was done on the April 21st Budget Committee meeting when the Budget Committee allocated $1 million, and you were not there. Thank you. Do not interrupt me.
Okay,
I am for
sure.
the track, I have been, but I am concerned about the price. We haven't heard about the bid or anything, and I'd like to know more about that.
I would,
Did we get the necessary bids, and did we get the best price?
I finally saw the plans about a week ago that finally got done. I do know this, they basically had to go back and redo the whole project and negotiate. I wasn't in on that, didn't have any input on it.
Well, it's very frustrating when I go to a school board meeting and I don't get any answers. And I ask the questions and they'll say, we're gonna just ignore you. So you are the funding body. The $35 million that was issued by Loudon County, not the Board of Education. They do not have taxing authority, thank God. But I do have concerns, and I hope that issue is looked at. Because $1 million was approved by the Budget Committee. You didn't know at that point, but on the other hand, 3.4, whatever, sounds excessive. So I hope that you do your due diligence and make sure that we're getting the best price. The other thing is, I attended a capital projects meeting, and there was a motion and second for some acoustical panels in the courthouse, and that was denied. And I think it's important that if you go to court, that if you have to sit there, that you be able to hear and listen. If we could put bathrooms, paint, do all sorts of things, I think sound and the public being able to hear is important. Those walls, the echoes have been bouncing off that wall since I went to the very first meeting in the old courthouse. So I think that needs to be addressed. And lastly, I'd like to know about the assessment. I'd like for the assessor to explain how our properties are assessed. Are they going to be based on the value, the sale of homes? I know that I own 3.8 acres, and recently 3.3 acres sold for about $45,400 per acre. So I'd like to know how the assessment works, and also I'd like to know when we will receive the notices in the mail. And lastly, when will we hear about the certified tax rate? Because that is usually, the tax rate is based on the assessor, and that's almost the last thing that we hear in the budget process. So I hope those issues are addressed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one quick clarification. We're not the Loudon County Board of Education. We don't have anything to do with funding. We've done nothing but the funding. They do it. I'm not asking you a question, Pat.
No, I'm not.
They've made their decision on what they're planning to do. Whatever it is, that's not up to us.
110 million
Okay.
bond will be issued. 35 million was issued in May, and the remainder will be issued by this body, not the school board, this body in the next issuance.
That's exactly
Thank
right,
you.
but we're not building a gymnasium anywhere.
Okay,
You
that
dropped something.
concludes the
Pat,
public
You
comments.
dropped something.
Go ahead.
Pat dropped something.
All right. That concludes the public comments. Jim, you're up.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item A is a resolution amending the zoning map of Loudon County, Tennessee pursuant to Chapter 13-7-105 Tennessee Code annotated to rezone from A1 Agricultural Forestry District, M1 General Industrial District, to CFD Community Facilities District, M1 General Industrial District. Loudon County Tax Map 3, parcels 21 and 2101, located on El Camino Lane, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 5th Legislative District.
Mr. Chairman, this has kind of been knocked around for several months now. A couple of representatives from the church are here. They came back to the planning commission earlier this month, last month, I don't even know what month we're in, earlier this month, and they've come up with some good revisions. This is in mine and Commissioner Morrison's district. They've worked out a lot of different issues that were a problem when they first came. As it stands right now, it looks like it'd be a great fit for that area. I don't have an issue with it, but it will come with the caveat that it will be, this rezone will be approved only for them, only for this instant, for this, what they're doing, and only after they buy the property. So, there's some stuff in there that still gives us precautions in case this doesn't happen. I mean, they know they have a lot of ground to cover between now and then, but it's, you couldn't get about any farther out of Loudon County to the edge where you wouldn't disturb anybody than you are at the end of El Camino Lane. And anything we could do to stop the mulch fires from burning up there, Jim, that'd be a great thing.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments? B,
So B, using the same amending resolution, this will be to rezone from A1 Agricultural Forestry District to A3 Developing Agricultural District, Loudon County Tax Map 67, parcel 134, located at 25259 Sticky Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 1st Legislative District. This will be for one lot, and it was recommended.
At the end of Fort Creek right there.
It is, yes, sir.
any comments?
We're good.
C,
Same resolution to rezone from A1 Agricultural Forestry District to A3 Developing Agricultural District at Loudon County Tax Map 43, parcel 31, located at 2424 Fairview Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in 3rd Legislative District. This will take a larger tractor and create 2 1-acre tracts off of that. It was recommended.
any comments?
That's you, Bill.
That is, I know the young couple that's doing that. No, I don't have a problem with that.
D,
And this will be to rezone from A2 Rural Residential District to A3 Developing Agricultural District. Loudon County Tax Map 49, parcel 82, located at 9841 Bonnell Road, Loudon County, Tennessee, situated in the 1st Legislative District. This was not recommended. I think your all sheet say approved.
Yeah, it needs to be corrected right there. It says 8 approved, I'm thinking.
It was 8 disapproved.
okay. Any comments? Okay, Jim, they'll be on the January 5th, 2026 commission meeting. Can you believe the year's gone by that fast?
Mm.
Buddy, you're up.
Mr. Chairman, under my name, I did Smoke Mountain Offender Tracking LLC request and application to become a qualified electronic monitoring provider for Loudon County.
Tell us what all that means.
It means they can put an ankle bracelet on.
Yeah, but there's some reason we're having to vote on it. I mean,
Is Hutch here?
No.
It's, has to be wrote down.
As far as getting into details, I can't get very deep with it, because I just don't know much about it.
I don't know if there's a commitment. I think the way I understood it, we have a company now that if they use it, they use, and this company wants to be allowed to be a vendor with us. I just don't know why it's having to come through us, is what's kind of got me puzzled. I would say I need some information on this between now and before I'm asked to vote on it. If you can, whoever's,
Bob Bowman.
yeah, Bowman wrote the letter, but whoever's pressing this saying, we need some details about why are we having to vote on it? I'm totally lost on this.
Well, you're asking the wrong one, I'll find out.
Yeah, see if you can find out some more, and just send it out to all of us if you get something.
Okay. Table that, we'll either put it on or not, depending on what Bob says. Okay?
It's fine with me, yeah.
All right.
Bill Hart will not be here. He was at budget and got his questions answered, so you can move on from him.
We will need to add to the agenda.
Be under her, won't it?
No, it'll be on Aaron's.
It'll be under Aaron.
Aaron's got it.
Okay, so you'll have it on there.
Yep.
Okay,
This is. for-
Mike Campbell.
yeah, probably for the radios.
Oh, you didn't bring all your little pictures and sketches and stuff?
That's gonna tell
Mike
Pat she's.
Campbell, Assessor of Property.
You could've got it on TV here, man.
What's that?
You could've gotten it on TV here.
Oh, okay, I'll come next month.
People would have seen.
So basically, I had a request today to transfer $8,800 out of unused open wage line to a contracted services, and it's a print vendor. We currently use that company. They were approved by the state to modify our assessment change notice. We're in the reappraisal year, 2026 is reappraisal, so we'll be sending out approximately 40,000 change notices. For the last 13 years, we've got a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it gives you the basic legal requirements to put out. That's the appraisal, previous assessment, current appraisal, current assessment. And I would say, well over 90% of the people that get that notice don't understand what is being conveyed, because it doesn't reflect taxes. And so that's where most people call and want to know what's the impact of them personally. So I feel that this opportunity is we can expand on that change notice, we can print on the backside. It's roughly, less than 22 cents per, the setup fee. And so we're already sending the notice, the mail's there, the postage is there. So this fee of $8,800 gets an opportunity to change that. So, that allows me for the things that I want to bring to the forefront: truth in taxation, certified tax rate, and fractional assessment state. Those are all wonderful terms, and unless you live in my world, they probably don't matter to many people, but they are very critical to Tennessee, very critical to Loudon County, and we've got a special place here. I think that goes to some of our growth, Tennessee, grow the state. I've heard the wonderful discussion tonight about our growth. So I'm looking forward to being able to expand on the notices, so just asking for your support.
Budget committee approved.
Yes, thank you.
It'll be on January 5th, 2026 commission meeting.
Okay, be there.
One quick question, Assessor Campbell. We don't do the property assessment job. Are you available if citizens have questions of any kind pertaining to all those things you just mentioned?
Absolutely.
Your office is open for anybody that wants to come in and talk to you, or anybody there that can tell them all about, questions they might have about that.
Absolutely.
Good enough. Thank you. I thought maybe you quit doing that or something.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. I do take lunch.
Why? You don't need lunch. Thank you, Mike.
Commissioner Shaver, you're up.
What am I up for?
6.
City of Loudon. Talked to Bob Bowman's guy this week. See, you thought I was fixing to hit you, didn't you?
I was gonna say, I've got the resolution.
Nate, what's his
Plan
name?
of services, Nate, yes.
Nate, whatever his name is, he called and he said he's gone through all of our stuff, all the documents and everything. And he truly believes that a simple redo by the city of Loudon to follow the law is all we've ever asked them to do. We don't sit Loudon anymore when it comes to annexation. So I think his next he was planning to reach out at some point to Chris Fry, I think the city of Loudon. So there's no action of any kind needed, but it's just what the update on it is. Yes, Loudon did it wrong. Did they know they did? I don't know. I don't know what's in the minds of people that aren't there anymore. But anyhow, all we want to do is just see it done legally.
Mayor Harris, I've got a copy of the annexation resolution and the plan of action, the plan of services. Y'all wanna be happy to send it to you, but like, pertaining to what Nate said, I think it's just simply changing the dates on it, redo it.
Well, they've got to have a vote from this body to do a non-contiguous annexation, just like we did in Highland Park. That's the big sticking point, and that goes to Mr. Colacone's discussion right there. They're gonna annex 179 acres, which contiguous to the Weigel property. Whoops, sorry, Weigel's property wasn't contiguous. So there was a little problem there, so.
So
If
I
y'all
have
want the
a, I have
original, if
a,
y'all want the original, I'll send it out to you if you do.
yeah, I
Sure,
do,
send
and I have a question about that. If we just automatically agree to this, do we then open up a problem when they come back and say, well, we're now contiguous to
No.
Dry Valley?
Here's the great part. I'm sure the state legislators didn't mean to do it. A non-contiguous annexation does not get to be counted as a contiguous for the next annexation. Contiguous still means it's got to go back to the city, original city property lines where the city seat is.
Okay.
So just because you non-contiguous one at Highland Park like we had on our end, that doesn't mean the next guy up from that one can come and say they're contiguous, because they're not.
Okay,
So that's a real important point.
absolutely. Okay, thank you.
And the one thing is, I've talked to several in the city, they don't want it either. So-
Nobody wants it.
So it's, the
I'm
good
just-
news is I've seen stranger things, but it's probably not gonna happen,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
annexation, so.
my job is to protect Dry Valley.
Yes, I agree.
We'll help you.
Okay.
We'll help you.
Thank you.
It's close enough to mine, I'll help you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next up, Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are the items that were recommended by the Budget Committee. Consideration of request for reimbursement of $4,100 from the Fire Safety Reserve to trim trees at Stevens Lane Repeater Tower. That was approved or recommended. Consideration to move $8,000 from other contracted services to a wage line for overlapping wages in the planning office for an additional employee to be hired on while another one is fixing to depart. Also, there was consideration of a request to transfer $8,800 from an open wage position, which was Mr. Campbell's, to contracted services to allow a third-party vendor to mail out assessment notices. There was an appropriation for $241,868.76 of the opioid abatement funds. 100,000 of those dollars are going to Beauty for Ashes. $141,868.76 will be used by the Sheriff's Department. In County General Fund, amendments included multiple line adjustments, but it also included the appropriation for the copier machine lease in the property assessor's office that was approved at the commission meeting last month for $800. In the highway fund, I'll get back to the fund balance, how it's gonna affect it in just a minute. In the highway fund, there was no adjustment to the fund balance. So, I'm gonna tell you these fund balance estimates, but
Wait a minute, Aaron, you
Yeah.
forgot about the two.
I'll get to that,
To the fire protection,
I'll
okay.
get to that part. So, because of some of the things that were done that weren't included on the spreadsheets, some of these may sound a little different to the budget committee, I just want to put it out there. So in the county general fund, the $4,100 for the fire safety for trimming trees at the Stevens Lane repeater, $229,580 for fire safety is being appropriated, and that is part of radios that are being appropriated to Philadelphia Fire Department, and they're gonna share some of those with Greenback Fire Department, and that's coming out of the fire safety reserve, like I said. And
What was
then
the amount you just gave? I'm sorry.
221.
$229,580.
For 40 radios.
That don't sound correct.
It was my understanding that
219.
What was the total, Bobby? I thought it was 240.
the committee approved Burrell Enterprises.
Yes, the Kenwood radios, $229,580.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I was correct. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Come on, man.
How many radios, Bob?
40.
40.
And that's for two departments that doesn't have the radio, 800 radio system now.
Any more questions?
No, ma'am, sorry.
Okay, all right. And then the $800 for the copier lease at the property assessor. So overall, the fund balance in the county general fund will decrease $234,480. Just gonna throw that out there. The opioid fund, because the committee is recommending appropriation of the funds that have to be spent or appropriated by February 1st of 2026, it will decrease the fund balance by $241,868.76. So I've covered the radios. Fund 131, which is the highway department, the line adjustments will have no bearing on fund balance. Now, capital projects, brought 2 items to the budget committee that are recommended. The first one is $13,568 for 2 mini split HVAC, systems, units that will be placed in the judge's chamber and the jury room at the courthouse, is the way I understood it. And then $5,400 for window repairs at the annex. And so overall, the, fund balance in general capital projects, which covers these 2 recommendations, will decrease by $18,968. And that's all that I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Aaron. Any further comments? I'll entertain adjournment.
Well, if we could make a motion, I'd make a motion to adjourn, but otherwise, let's just go home. Thanks for all our stuff, Henry, and Gary Whitfield brought the cheese, and since Adam's not here, I'll take his. Rosemary, William's not here, you can have
Oh, I
his.
can have his.
That's just the downside of not showing up.
You want no
If you hadn't said
sugar?
anything, I was gonna steal it.
It's like that book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah.
Move my cheese. Okay,
I'll trade you.
everybody have a good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
No problem, anytime.